Hey everyone, well it's Sunday morning and we're still on the hard here in Port Dover. The centerboard repair to the trunk has now been repaired. So yeah, we could go back in the water, but there's a little bit of a rudder repair I want to do yet, so I'm going to work on that later today. But this morning I've decided to tackle something that, it's necessary. I don't particularly want to do it, but I have to, so I have to crawl down in this locker here. And after emptying all this, way back in that small space, and you probably won't be able to see it, is a linear drive. You can see the cables there. And that is an Alpha Marine autopilot system. Now, Alpha Marine autopilots are, in my opinion, bulletproof. They are fantastic. This one, however, has a problem with the linear drive. Now, it's not, what happened was somebody adjusted it wrong, previous owners, and it's caused the shaft to overextend and it's popped out. There's like a nylon or it might not be nylon, but it's a product that begins with the letter D. It's a very, very hard plastic, and it has popped out. So I think in looking at it, it looks like it is actually broken, but I think I can just turn it 90 degrees, retap the holes, and reaffix it. These things are built to military standards. This one is 40 years old, and it still, even with this broken part, runs flawlessly. So it's a lot of work because I'm not a small guy. Well, I'm not a huge guy, but it's a very small area that I have to crawl into down there. So I'll be emptying this locker and then working on that today. We're still here in Port Dover for another week. However, I still have to go home and work. So this is probably my last day of working on the boat in this session. I may have to come back up in a couple days. I have the bow pulpit, which I've removed. We've installed these. I've installed these extensions on the davits. The reason for this is to get the dinghy higher out of the water, because when we heeled it was dragging and we don't want to get swamped in a following sea. Since we are heading out on the ocean, I also added some stainless steel supports here with turnbuckles that come back to here. These are just to help stabilize the davits. That's something else we've done. When I say we, it's me, but I try to include, I still have that anchor roller to install. As you can see, I've removed the lifelines as I have to put some new stanchions on here. I've also removed the bow roller and the bow pulpit, which are actually hopefully still on the ground down there. Nobody's taken them. And be getting those welded up this week and then reinstalling. So still quite a bit of work to go. We have to tie the boom down, and then we have to build a framework for the mast to go across the top. Now, the Erie Canal system has a height restriction about 14.5 feet. So obviously our 60-foot mast was not going to go stood up. So what we'll do is we'll build a framework, then we'll move our boat back to they call it the Outer Harbor Marina here, where we have stored our mast temporarily. And then we will have our mast re-strapped down on top, ready to cross Lake Erie and then into the Erie Canal. So, I still have to get a new Canadian flag. It's destroyed from that big windstorm. So still quite a bit of work to do, and looking forward to getting back to the house for a few days. I guess home is the boat now, right? So Michelle should be happy because I actually cleaned up down here after all my fiberglassing mess. I still have a lot of junk to put away. We had to take all our wind instruments off the top of the mast because these are pretty pricey items, and the guys refused to move and store the mast with some of the instruments on top. New VHF radio there, which I know we're going to need going through the canal. My guitar, which I haven't even looked at in days. I have to clear out this area. But yeah, it's coming along. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday, as I am having. Oh look, I got a new spider friend in here.
All right, buddy. I'm sorry you're gonna have to move homes today. All right, take care, everyone. Bye bye.